Hello, everyone. Welcome back again. This episode will be part of my tidbit series on Python learning. I just want to let you know that all of the information will also be in my GitHub page under Snake Charmer Data. So, today's lesson, short tidbit, is all about lists, tuples, and dictionaries. What are they, and why basically are they so important? And they're actually one of the most important subject fields for Python. Without further ado, let's see lists. Basically, if we're looking at the cart analogy, we could see that each cart has different items that you can place into it. That's pretty much what lists are. But also the carts can be rearranged, so we have mutability. In other words, lots of flexibility. Each cart has a number index, which shows its position within the line. So we see, for instance, here 12, 13, 14, and so on. We can add, remove carts, basically swapping positions, which is really important, an important aspect of having lists in programs. And some of the operations, of course, we could place different items in each cart. We can also call out operations by positions. We could remove the carts. So for instance, the last one, the first one, and all this basically rearranging the carts is a really good example of most of what the list operations entail. So that's it for lists. Next is the museum analogy, which is used for tuples. Now, what are tuples? In this image here, each case contains various items, which here are referred to as elements. Now, the cases are locked with do not touch signs, which means that tuples are immutable. In other words, they can no longer be accessed, or basically you cannot change the elements inside. Those elements cannot be accessed for the purpose of updating the contents. Each item has a position number, so it is a numbered index, and I do want to underline numbered index. So you can refer to it, but you cannot change it within the case. So some of the operations. You could decide what items to place, of course, in each case before sealing them. And if we compare this to the shopping cart example, where basically you can modify the elements in the shopping carts, and you can also change the position of shopping carts, and you can also remove them. So lots of flexibility in lists, not so much flexibility in tuples. However, there are good reasons for using tuples versus lists, and that's going to be in the, you could refer to that as I do have that knowledge base added in my GitHub page. Next is the dictionaries. So one great analogy here is the locker. So you can place different items in each labeled locker, and you can also retrieve the items. but you will retrieve items and update by referring to the label, not the position. So it's not uh, a numbered index, it is a character type index. And I'll show you that in a moment. You can, of course, you do have flexibility as well with dictionaries where you can add new lockers, you could change the contents, and that won't affect other lockers. So some of the operations, and I will provide it here in terms of coding. So we could print what's in Alex's locker and it will point to the student locker known as Alex. So again, it would point to it as the label, not the position, not an indexed position. We can add a new locker, in this case, one that we can call Morgan. We can advise basically what's included. So we are adding the articles in it, so items like art supplies, snack, and we could, of course, change what's in a locker as well. That's pretty much what dictionaries do. Of course, there's a lot more information as to when you should use dictionaries as opposed to lists and tuples. And I did provide that information as well. Do take a look. It is in my GitHub pages, and no worries, I will have a link in the down below in this video. Well, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.